Good evening to everyone who has joined today from different parts of the world. It's indeed a pleasure for SAFA for organizing this webinar for all the benefit of the members across the SAFA region. Friends, let me just tell you one thing. Today we have a distinguished speaker panel, which is from different parts of the countries, from their respective countries, and most importantly, these all gentlemen are part of the council of their respective institutes. What better we can have a day to start with, or discussion to start with, when you have people who are actually defining the future. And that is where this SAFA virtual conference, Future of Accounting Profession, is actually being coined. And today we are going to talk something very interesting: redefining leadership in accountancy. And particularly, we are going to take up matters like skills, ethics, and innovation. I think these three words, out of the three, the two are something which are embedded in all the institutes from quite a long time when we actually came in. The difference between a professional and a businessman is only one word, which is called ethics. Ethics, I don't say that the businessmen don't follow. They follow their own way. But the profession is defined first with the ethics. And that is where the discussion actually goes through. Today we have a galaxy of speakers, panelists who are going to discuss. But let me just tell you what happened yesterday. We had close to 1,200 students across the 7 countries, and people participating at different level. And today we have a huge number who is actually registered for the discussion, and we are going to take this discussion forward from here. So friends, SAFA, the commitment, the mission is, how do we get our Asian countries together? And I would like to quote my Prime Minister of the country, which specifically he told, the time is of Asia now. And Asian countries are actually going to drive the world in time to come. What better it can be when you talk about driving or any success of a business or a nation? It is always numbers, and wherever it is numbers, accountants are going to play always an important role. This is where we are. So let me very quickly tell you who are all there with us today on the panel. I have Mr. Shabbir Ahmed, who is from ICAB, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh. Welcome, Shabbir sir. We have Mr. Vishal Doshi, who is from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Mohammad Halim, who is from Maldives. Then we have Mohammad Maqbool, who is from Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. We have Mahtab Uddin, ICMAB, which is Institute of Management Accountants, Bangladesh. Then Mr. V. Murli, who is a CMA and a council member of CMA, but I am proud to say that he was also being a past council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as well, and has really added a lot of value in the process. Sujan is going to join us shortly, who is from Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, and Ruchira, CMA, Sri Lanka. Welcome to you all people, and indeed, I am actually excited to moderate this entire session, and I think learn from you all people with specific questions which I'm going to have, which I've thought about it at length. But before going forward, if I can just tell you all people, for the benefit of our members who are joined and who are going to join, if you can just take a minute time and I'll tell you the name, you can just give a quick introduction, talk about yourself, what are you and what is it all about, and then we'll go to the question answer session. So first, let me request Mr. Shabbir Ahmed from ICAB to give his quick introduction.
Thank you. I think first of all, I will take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for organizing this wonderful event. I think yesterday was also very wonderful event, highly appreciated by many participants. I think this is the core of the regional cooperation where SAFA stands for. We can leverage from each other's knowledge and work that are doing. Now, coming back to myself, I'm a council member of Chartered Accountants Bangladesh. I also chair Sustainability Committee of ICAB, as well as I chair the SAFA Committee on Ethics and Independence. I'm a practicing member. My firm is known as Hudavasi Chaudhary and Company, one of the legacy firm, which was previously known as A. Ferguson and Company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shabir ji. Now I'll request Vishal Doshi ji to kindly give a quick introduction.
Thank you very much. And at the outset, I would like to compliment SAFA and the CPD committee for organizing these back-to-back webinars for the students and members. And I understand it's not just the SAFA countries where the participants are from, but from worldwide professionals who have joined this webinar. So speaking about myself, a short introduction. I am a council member with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. This is my first term in the council, and presently I am the chairman, Board of Studies Academic, vice chairman of the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, and also the convener for the Center for Audit Quality Directorate. So that's a short introduction from my side. Over to you, Dayavan.
Thank you very much, Vishal ji. I'll request Mohammad Halim from Maldives to quickly give his introduction.
Thank you, SAFA CPD committee for this opportunity, and I believe this will be very helpful for our students. I'm a council member of CMOLIS and also the chairperson of the academic committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Request Mr. Mohammad Maqbool from Pakistan to give his quick introduction.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dayaji, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be one of the panelists. I'm also welcome the honorable other learned panelists and the online delegates. I'm a member of ICAP, Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales, CPA Ontario, ACCA, SAFA UK, and Chartered Institute of Security Investment. I'm a practicing member in Pakistan, and also I'm involved in the education. I'm a council member of ICAP, currently chairing the Education Training Committee of ICAP, and I have been a vice president of ICAP in 2014 and 15, and I have been a council member of SAFA UK from year 2016 to 21, and currently I'm ICW council member, co-opted from South Asia for the term 23-25. I'm also independent director and chairman of Audit Committee of Bata, Pakistan, and Dean of School of Accountancy and Finance of University of Lahore. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Request Mahtab to kindly give this quick introduction.
Thanks a lot. First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity and really impressed the way SAFA team is working under your leadership. I think the collaboration is really started showing results. I think that's a very good news. Whatever we are discussing in different committees, we are trying to replicate that or introduce that in our respective institutes. So I think that's a good initiative, and looking at 600, 700 numbers looks to be a very encouraging number. And if we continue to do that, I think the collaboration will go to a different level. So with that note, to introduce myself, I'm actually a corporate careerist. I started my career with the bank for 2 years, 70.
I think there's a network issue.
For 2 years as CEO. And now I have started my own independent business, which will be Buildcon Consultancies Limited. I'm the founder and managing director. I'm actively involved in the capital market, fintech, edutech, and I'm also board member of few institutions. So my hands are full, but at the same time, I represent Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Bangladesh as the vice president. So I look forward to have a more, interesting discussions and exchange of learning and sharing of knowledge. Over to you. Thank you.
Yes, Mahtab, I think one of the topic discussion is skilling. So when you say hand are full and still you are active, that makes the whole difference. Thank you.
Yeah,
now I'll request one of my dearest person, who is Mr. V. Murli, to give his quick introduction.
Thank you very much, CA Daniwa Sharmaji, the chairman of this important committee of SAFA. I am Dr. CMA CA V. Murli, elected Central Council member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I was the elected chairman of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, as well as the chairman of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India for the Southern region, SARC of ICA, SARC ICMEI. I was 4 terms elected as Central Council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the period 2004 to 2016, and again Central Council member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India 8 years, 2019 up to 2027. I got elected. And in fact, I was Board of Studies chairman for 4 years, and vice chairman Board of Studies for 4 years. Then I was a member of Board of Studies for 4 years. So all the 12 years I was associated, and I was earlier chairman of the Committee on Education, Training and CPT SAFA also, and Subodh Agarwal was the president of SAFA. And at that time, online meetings were not there normally. So this gives a lot of scope, and I really appreciate Mr. Daniwa Sharmaji to organize this particular important session across all the SAFA countries so that the benefit will reach the students and members as well. Appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So John will join us later, but Ruchira, request you to kindly give a quick introduction of yourself.
Good evening to all. Good evening, Mr. Daniwas. And also I must thank SAFA and also ICAI for organizing this wonderful conference. It's a privilege to be here. My name is Ruchira Pereira. I'm a council member of CMA Sri Lanka. And also I serve as a technical advisor in the SAFA board. Currently in the CMA Sri Lanka Council, I serve as the committee chairman of the Accounting Standards Committee. Over to you, Mr. Daniwas.
Thank you so much. And friends, now these are the people who are actually there with us to give their views on the future of accountancy profession. I think there has been a lot amount of deliberation. There is a lot amount of write-ups which are being shared. A lot of people say that the accounting profession is going to come into end. But one thing which I would like to tell you all is one simple logic. Till the time money is there on earth, a role of accountant is not going to get over. And if you don't have money on the earth, but still our accountants are having capability to do something different, because our DNAs are such that we are adaptable to any situation and any circumstances. But the most important point, if you see, is like, today's discussion, which is going to be very important for all of us. But yes, before going into the discussion, let me just introduce myself, which I forgot yesterday. I am Daniwa Sharma. I am a chartered accountant by profession. I am a council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and this is my 2nd term. And I was fortunate that I was chairman of Board of Studies last year, and this year I take another leads, which I am doing multiple, work at the institute level, particularly on the digital transformation. We worked a lot, and this is what is about me. And I'm fortunate that I'm chairing this committee of SAFA, which is Education, Training and CPD, which is actually the backbone of the entire learning system of the entire institutes which are associated with SAFA and not associated with SAFA as well. So friends, today, the topic, as you all know, I think all the panelists are also geared up, redefining leadership in accountancy. Redefining leadership, I think leadership is always there with us. Redefining is only because of certain other evolutions which have come in the entire practice. And more importantly, in the digital era, when you talk about, there is much that need to be done for a chartered accountant. It's not skilling alone, it's reskilling. And also we need to think about what is going to come in the future. We're going to discuss after, in question by question session with all the people. But before we actually go forward, the first question which I would like to start with is with Shabir. Shabir, I know that you need to attend certain other important meetings, so I don't want to miss out taking your inputs on certain most important aspects. And the best part about the SAFA countries, the Asian countries, is always known for its ethical value, truthness, and loyalty. So my question, which is there for you, rather than starting from skilling, I would like to start from ethics, which is one of the key, not only the key, I think that final drop of blood in a body is nothing but the ethics which is going to be there in a chartered accountant or a cost accountant in time to come. Or might be that has been the history also, we are not aware. So the question comes to you is very simple, straight, but very complicated. And how you will take it up, I would like to understand. And how Bangladesh sees in this ethical standard values when you are looking at prioritizing certain things and setting the things right in the technological evolution and the new demands which are actually coming from the promoters, organizations, regulators, governments, every side, nationally, internationally, within, whether it is small, whether it is big. But the most important part is the size of ethics cannot be defined. Murli sir, I gave one lecture, and just to tell you, the topic was ethics in accountancy. And the only statement which I started with was, if you can describe taste of water, then you can actually define what ethics is. It is to be felt within, then only actually you can move forward in your entire professional career. Till that time, you cannot move forward. So let us ask Shabir a straight question. As a role of ethics in leadership evolves, what key consideration and practices do you think accountancy leaders should prioritize to maintain high ethical standards? This is a question for you. Over to you.
Thank you, Danivas. I think, yes, I have some other commitment for my institute program that will commence very shortly. So that's why I put myself on the firing line, being the first one to request for a slot. I think if we talk about ethics, like any other thing in our accountancy profession, it's evolving matter. Perhaps only thing that stands still in our accountancy profession for last 100 years is debit and credit. Other than that, a lot of things has changed. And the ethics is also very evolution process. If we take the accountancy profession aside, just consider about the human aspect. What was considered ethical a couple of centuries back is considered inhuman these days. For example, all we experience colonial rule. Few hundred years back, that was perhaps the norm for an European country to go and grab land of another person. But nowadays, if the same thing happens, what we will do, or how we will react. Similarly, all we grown up, I think all we are perhaps a middle-aged person. Now, growing up as a kid, or when our parents grown up as a kid in the school, giving a corporal punishment was quite common. Now, when my kids were born in Australia and brought up, I once a little bit shouted on my daughter and said that, hey, this is not Bangladesh, this is Australia. In our school said that if your parent misbehave, call police. So this is the way society has changed. Similarly, the accountants also need to change themselves. Accept the new reality. You have already mentioned about learning, then de-learning, relearning. So it is a continuous process. Now, if you want me to focus on few aspects, I would say on the ethical aspect, one thing that as a leader of accountancy profession we need to look at is empathy. I was attending a conference on artificial intelligence a few months back, organized by CA Worldwide, where a lot of talk about the artificial intelligence. Then I say, what about the emotional intelligence? A machine cannot replicate the human emotion. So you need that empathy on every aspect of your behavior. Like many other professionals, accountancy profession now faced with a couple of new arena. One is a technological disruption. So this has created a new ethical dilemma. We are dealing with data. Now there is a term called subconscious biasness. So when you deal with data, the data sourcing is very important, because if the data sourcing is biased, then your decision making may have got influence. So ethics, when I talk about ethics, I'm not talking about the end data. Rather, I need to go at the front end to see how the data is being captured. Otherwise, I can evolve around technology, but I could come to a wrong conclusion. Another area is sustainability, where the professional accountants are playing a very vital role. International Sustainability Standards Board has adopted IFRS S1, S2, and IASB has issued exposure draft on sustainability report, assurance on sustainability reporting. Greenwashing, a very common area in the sustainability reporting. So that is also required ethical compliance, that how ethical you are in your behavior. The other thing I think is what we have seen in last 2 decades is a growing activism, like especially the millennials and the young generation. They are very informative, and they have their own way of acting or reacting. For example, if they consider that a particular entity is not doing ethical compliance or behaving in an ethical manner, they can go against that company. Not only boycotting their product, but also in social media, they can create some such a noise that that could be very harmful for the company. So, as a leader of accountancy profession, we have to also consider the behavioral aspect of the people that we are dealing with. I'm conscious of time. I'm allocated 5 minutes, I think. So to sum up, I would say that the thing that we need to look at as a leader is empathy, first. And the second is open to changes. We cannot be closely guarded. The things are changing. Behavioral pattern changes. There are cross-generational people that we need to deal with. So all these aspects need to factor in. Last but not the least, one of the great sportsmen, I've forgotten his name, said that those who are fittest not always survive in the game. Those who can adapt will most likely survive. So for us also, as a professional accountant, adaptability is very important rather than focusing on the fitness. Fitness is important, but equally important is adaptability. Ethics being an evolving matter, we have to also evolve ourselves to ensure that we are on the top of the game. I will take a pause and we'll be happy to chip in later on if opportunity arises. Thank you.
Fantastic,
Back to you.
Fantastic, Sabir. I think the way you made a comparison with a generation gap, I think decades of experience, past versus the present and the future, which is, and ethics, which were relevant that time. Ethics is relevant at that time also and now also. But the way we have to look at things because of the situation change. And a very nice example which you talked about is a colonial approach, where the acquisition of land. But today, when you are actually thinking about acquiring any land, I think what kind of questions are going to come, we don't know. And the world is not going to accept it. So all these evolutions, undoubtedly, the role of a chartered accountant or a cost accountant has always played a very important role because we have adapted to the changes every time. And we'll just come back to you, sure. And till the time possible, you be there wherever you can pitch in. We'll surely love to listen from you because it was a very different approach which was being shared from your side, taking to the past and talking about the future and also giving your own example. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, let me just ask a question to Mohammad Maqbool sir. Primarily, when he was talking more of evolving and moving forward. So now the profession and the leaders of the profession, whether it is a practicing chartered accountant or a cost accountant or a person who is in the industry as a cost accountant or a chartered accountant. So now, what do you think? What kind of skills and qualities do you believe will be particularly crucial for the future leaders of the profession? Future leader of the profession means both sides I'm talking. One is basically the practice, and the second I'm talking about the industry. So just your views, Mohammed.
Thank you, Diyaji. Can you hear me? Yeah,
very
thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, the leadership skill require the capability and capacity to manage people, create a vision for their organization. You see, one thing very common you hear from the employers that the chartered accountant are very good as far come to the technical skills are concerned, core areas, but they are weak in the soft skills and communication. This is very common we hear from the employers and the bosses. actually role is changing, particularly in this era. They are no longer considered to be just going up to the manager finance and CFO. Now the role is turning to chief value officer and CEO. We believe that the professional accountant should be ready to take the role of CEOs. The number of CEO from the profession are not that much at this moment, and it's our duty, being a professional institute, that we should prepare our members for this role where they can take up the responsibility and role of CEOs. You see, what that role demands is that role demands effective decision making based on data and financial analysis, team building and performance measurement, strategic planning, communication and negotiation with the internal and external stakeholders, professional development of their teams, fostering a culture of integrity and ethics at their workplaces, may it be in profession, may it be in the business, and adaptability and resilience relating to the technology adoption, regulation adoption, and the market conditions adjustment. This all is in the role required. Plus, they are expected to have a good talent recruitment and retention. And they have to see the thing in international and best practice perspective. This all is demanding from the. So that's why there's a duty, the quality which we should foster among the future leader who are the accountant is the communication. They should be having a consistent, open, and honest communication, empathy, documentation of their plan, work, policy, strategies, good time management, and promoting the integrity and ethics, as Mr. Shabir said, is a very important area. Professional behavior. This all is demanded. So now it's a time for the institutes, all institute, not only institute which are based in the SAFA region everywhere, that they have to look at this, what is the demand of the market in these days, and as a result of the changing role from CFO to CVO and CEO. So that's what we think. The skill should be there, the role which is expected, I have just described that, and what we need to focus on working. This is also a list I have shared with you. So thank you. If there would be any question, I will be very pleased to take up that question at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magnul, sir. Very rightly said, from the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, to Chief Value Officer. This transition is undoubtedly a transition from a cost center to a value center we need to move towards. Otherwise, in a traditional practice, what has been happening is we have always been considered as a cost center, but now we are considered as a value center. As you rightly said, there are multiple examples in the world now where our institute members who have become CFOs are now taking a role of CEOs also. So which is that mean lot is happening, and all the traits which you talk about, communication, empathy, documentation, time management, these are the core pillars which actually define a professional to be a professional. I think very rightly said, but the end is just a beginning. When you talk from a CFO to value officer is the beginning which is there. If Mahatab is there, I would like, because he has a good experience. Mahatab, if you are there, there is a follow-on question for you which I have, which Makbul sir told, and then I thought it's the best thing because you have been in the industry for quite a long time and you have seen consulting from a different perspective altogether. So the question to you is, how have you seen effective leadership skills positively impact the performance and success of accountancy team and organizations? What do you think about this? Is it something different in your country, or it's generic across the globe?
No, I think it is in general all across the country. The challenges this accountancy profession is facing due to the digital revolution happening all over the world. Of course, there will be some unique stuff related to our country and our subcontinent. But in my the way I would like to start here is, the leader is as good as the team. So the first relationship is how that performance of leader is linked to the performance of the team. So I think if you believe in one factor, that you are as good as your team. So in that case, you can connect your performance with your team's performance. And in my view, the few leadership traits in today's world, and to accommodate the digital changes or digital era offering, to accommodate that, we have to bring that. If I say number one, we have to start believing what made you successful in the past will not make you successful tomorrow. In one word, you have to abandon the past successes and skills. Now, let me give you one story to understand it better. There is a hat story. In a park, there's one of the, seller who sells hat in the garden. And one day what happened was, in that garden, there were a lot of monkeys as well. So that guy was selling a hat, and in the afternoon after having lunch, he was too tired, he was sleeping. So after that, he was throwing, then all of a sudden, when he woke up, he realized the monkeys have taken out all his hats. So he got frustrated, fed up, and he threw the hat. The only hat he had it on his head, he threw it on the ground. Looking at it, all the monkeys also threw all their hat on the ground. So what happened after that was, the both guy went back to their home and they started sharing their story with their grandchildren. So similar incidents happened after 50 years. And what happened again, similar kind of thing happened with the grandchildren. And the grandchildren was, again, after seeing the similar kind of incidents happening, he threw his hat. But unfortunately, this time, the other monkeys were not throwing this hat. So that guy was asking monkeys, why didn't you throw your hat? So they said, actually, my grandfather also shared the same story with us. So therefore, they didn't replicate the same action. So I think that's the learning we should take. In digital era, we must forget or let go some of our old skills. And what Sharmaji was saying, reskill. So we have to develop some new skill to fit into the future requirement of accountancy. So that is point number one. Point number two is, we have to be jack of all trade, master of one. We are master of one already. In accountancy, we are master. But you have to be now jack of all trade. Now, what do we mean by jack of all trade? You have to have a knowledge of AI. We have to have a knowledge of blockchain. We have to have a knowledge of cloud computing. So if you don't have all this knowledge, which has many ways going to impact our profession as accountancy, actually will become irrelevant. Now, even in the GloPac we are discussing, a lot of tax related service you are giving today, it will be so transparent, it will be completely taken away by the machines. So if you don't understand all these changes and we don't develop those knowledges, which is severely going to impact our analytics and reporting, actually we will be relevant in the future. So again, reskilling and upskilling is extremely critical here. Now, the third one also, the diversity. The diversity of thinking, diversity in all perspective. If you don't bring diversity in our leadership style, I don't think we can bring innovation and creativity in our culture. So I think that is another critical point that we must ensure. And in my perspective, the last one point I would like to say that I'm saying it from corporate mindset, since I led a big organization. Leader has got 4 types. If you put it into 2 metrics, 2 variables. One variable is likability, another variable is competency. So if you are high on competency and high on likability, that group is called lovable star. Lovable star, good on both ground. But most of the accountants and engineers fall into competent jar. What is that competent jar? High on competency and low on likability. I don't know what happens in case of practice, those who are into practice, but those who are in the corporate world, most of the accountant people are not so popular. They are very good at their work, but they are not liked by the other team members or other functions. So I think that is something we need to understand. So how can we as a competent jar move into lovable star? If you can achieve that, I think as a leader, we will be far more effective and we can transform from CFO to CEO very easily. There is another category, I'm not saying that accountant fit into that, that is lovable fool. They are likable by everyone, but that guy is not so good in terms of his work. So for us as a profession, I see a challenge. How can we move from competent jerk to lovable star? So I think that's the vision I see. For that, we have to be ready. And I'm sure all of you are very smart people, and I take a pride that we are part of this accountancy community, and we have to lead this transformation. If we can do it successfully, no one can stop us. Thank you.
Perfect, Madhav. I think so many things you gave me a quick understanding on, and I will just sum up your discussion, which you talked about a monkey story, which I would like to tell all the people. The days are gone where the hats are being thrown back. You know what is the important part? Today it is time where we need to collaborate with the seniors, because those experiences are not going to go waste. Debit is a debit, credit is a credit, income is an income, expenditure is an expenditure. But an AI or a technology can actually give you tens of options. Okay, you select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want this? These are all the options which are available. But what will actually be effective is the experience of a person. So time has come where experience, which is the senior people, and the youth, which is speed, these two have to come together to share up the entire thing. So now it cannot be a story told by past, and it need to be continued. But very rightly put, Martha, by you on this particular aspect, where we need to learn the legacies from the legacies. Jack of all, master of one, undoubtedly a fact. People today are not understanding one thing, that it is not you need to do a coding of a programming. You should know only which program should be used at what point in time. That is another point which you rightly said, diversity in innovation, which is very important and very rightly put forward on the other aspects also. But yes, when you talked about innovation, now I come back to one more interesting discussion, one more important person in this panelist, who is no other person than the chairman of Board of Studies, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Vishal Doshi. I think innovation is something which you have actually talked about in our institute meetings, Vishal bhai. What I want to ask you a question is, from this perspective, how can innovation be effectively integrated into leadership role in accountancy profession, and what role does it play in staying competitive? I think the entire syllabus what you have designed, which revolves around the competitiveness, one, and the innovation, which we thought differently. So I request you to kindly share your thoughts and views, and how is it going to make our chartered accountants, future ready chartered accountants, is something you need to talk about.
Yeah, thank you, Dayabai. And I would start with one thing, saying that leadership, we talk of leadership, what exactly would we mean by leadership in today's world? So,
sad
leadership
news.
would not mean, yeah. I hope
Mr.
I'm audible.
Shabir just mentioned that his grandfather passed away, and that's why he's leaving. That's why I'm just. Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leadership nowadays is not about the number of people that are reporting to that person. All those definitions are now history. When we talk of leadership where a person is able to come out with an innovative idea, think beyond what is there, get others excited about it, and then bringing them along on a journey and supporting them all the way. This is what would be the quality of a person which would make that person a leader. When we talk of innovation, it is something that is very crucial for the success or continuation of any organization. So I would look from both the perspectives, since we are all accountants over here, that definitely from our institute's perspective, like Dayabai, you mentioned, that yes, the last 1.5 years, we have been grilling through the innovative ideas to be brought about with the students, because they are the future of our profession, and how we can change, think out of the box, be innovative, take our team, I would say not just the team, but the whole profession along in thinking that this is what is the future. And with new thoughts, like I will just share a couple of them with respect to our syllabus, since you highlighted the changes that we have brought about. One, is about the practical training. The practical training presently or earlier that we had was 3 years, where a student was going into examination leave and then missing out on important aspects of the learning and the practical experience that a student should get, especially in the third year of the practical training because of the examinations. And then we thought out of the box and said, no, we should not compromise on this aspect. And then what we did was that we said that let's keep examination independent of the learning and the training, and make this training independent and have uninterrupted training. And we brought that down from 3 years to 2 years. And in fact, today, Dava, you and I, we visit so many places, we do so many interactions we've done in the last 1 month or so, and even in the last 1 year, I would say. And everywhere, this thought is what is getting appreciated, not only by the student fraternity, but also by the members, those who train these students. They are also equally vocal on accepting this change and I would say lauding the innovative thought that we have brought about. The second thing, because we are also talking of technology and innovation, when we talk of innovation nowadays, technology cannot be left behind. And as an institute, again, what we have done is we have brought papers, subjects which are fully tech driven in terms of their learning, in terms of their application, and also in terms of their examination. And what we say are the self-paced online module. As the name suggests, they are self-paced, which means the student can, based on their priorities, based on their experience, based on their learning, they can learn and appear for that. And the second portion of that name is online modules, online learning, which means all the learning and the examination is going to be online. So I think these are the two major aspects of the innovation in the syllabus which we have brought about at the ICI, and the scheme is already implemented. It has got the nod, the approval from the government also after the council's nod, and now we have implemented it, and it's up and running, and students are pretty gung ho, I would say, about the whole new scheme. On some other areas, when we talk of leadership, especially and innovation, I believe, especially when we talk of the offices, be it of our members in practice or in industry, either way, I think there are some areas which we need to show the leadership skill is to encourage challenges. Many times what happens is that in the offices we have seen that whenever we give our view or our opinion on any matter, we normally, we are not happy with some subordinate or some colleague of our coming up and challenging that. I believe those days are over, and these days youngsters are at times more knowledgeable with the access that they have to the knowledge and the technology, and we should encourage more and more challenges within our organization, and this would develop, encourage new skill sets, new leadership within the organization, and that is what would make the organization grow. That would also pave way for giving more responsibility to these people who are there, who can come up and do the challenging work, and also show that it is the knowledge which they carry, which is innovative, creative, as well as compliant with the relevant laws. So this was my thought, my take on the question that you asked with respect to innovation, integrating that with the leadership roles in the accounting profession. Thank you.
I think dot on, Vishalji, and indeed, you have put forward all the thoughts which we have gone through in like last couple of years in establishing the new way of learning and teaching. The most important part is the MCQs, the case studies which are going to come up, which are more going to be practical oriented, which are going to be live case studies kind of thing, which is going to be there. And this ultimately gives a student also a way of thinking how the things are going to be in time to come. How and which way is something which we need to really look at, but you have given all your points very clearly. So now, Murli sir, for you, I have been waiting to ask you a question from quite a long time, because you are one person whom I can depend on, like a Rahul Dravid, who's a wall for India cricket team. I'm just trying to combine these 3 points: ethics, skill, and innovation. How do you think we can integrate this entire process in the leadership and leadership frameworks when we talk about, or might be leadership school of theories which are there. How do you integrate so that the new breed of chartered accountant, cost accountants, which we are going to get, are having the right skill, value with ethics, and more importantly, they are innovative in the entire process, following ethics. So over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. See, we are living in a knowledge era. Knowledge is power. Idea is power. No longer a person who is having a capital only called as a capitalist or a promoter. What you require is a fertile idea, sustainable idea, scalable idea, an idea which is capable of being converted into commercial proposition. This is the background. And we must realize that in a society, the only changeless factor is that change is inevitable. Robert Kennedy says, great change dominates the world. Unless you move with the change, will become its victims. And in our rapidly changing world, whatever I said about knowledge, even the products and knowledge become obsolete quickly. The change is constant and we can view it as a challenge or as an opportunity. Preparing for the unknown means mastering the constants. This is very important. That is a basic thing. So going into the future, when you talk about these three things, which you rightly mentioned about it, where the only people who will succeed in life, because you're talking about leadership, although you said accountancy in the larger canvas or within accountancy, who will succeed in life are those who master the three skills. One is people management, persuasion, and prioritization. This is very, very important. And what I see the change, innovation, when you say it is not only the technology, as rightly mentioned by the Board of Studies chairman, the 2 years, the type of change which has come. 5 years, audit clerk, P.A. Nair, our past president, did in Chokshi and Company. 4 years, it has come to 4 years. From 5 years audit clerk, 4 years, articles was there. Then 3 years, 6 months before your final exam, you can write your examination was there. 3.5 years also we have tried with CPT when T.N. Manoharan was the president. So all these things are innovation. So many but then the younger everywhere, the 5-day cricket we have seen in Chepak during Pongal time, from 12 to this thing, the craft of Airapalli Prasanna, Bishan Singh Bedi, S. Venkatraghavan, B.S. Chandrasekhar's, how he is using a leg spinners, all those things we have seen all the 5 days we used to go. Today, the younger members don't have that patience. Therefore, they want to have the 20 over cricket, 10 over cricket. It is like this. But at the same time, they are mastering. Right from the first ball, you'll be able to judge the pitch. This is very important. This is the innovation, whatever we are talking. The skill set we have to give in so that you will become an absolute leader. I want to tell you one thing is, in fact, empathy, Shabir Ahmad was mentioning. You said about the framework, the leadership framework I want. Whether he is a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, he must be a grassrooted. I want to tell about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. After assuming a charge as a home minister, he went to US first time. The US people asked him, the press people, you have come from India, what is your culture? He said, my culture is agriculture, he mentioned. That is our thing. So be grassrooted. Whatever you are, grassrooted, whatever the basic thing. You know, debit, credit, you call principle. That's why I said, mastering the constant, I said. You be a person who can handle well. Then you can do innovation in your chosen field. First, you master the thing. That's what he said, grassrooted. The second one is empathy. Any professional for that matter, a leadership quality is being empathetic. The same Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, you said about role model in your question, or framework you said. I want to tell you this. Where Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is to inaugurate a doctor conference, there are allopathy doctors, homeopathy doctors is there. Allopathy doctors say, we only represent the true medicine. Homeopathy doctors say, no, we only represent the true medicine. There is a fight. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has to decide. This is what the doctors want. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel went to the podium. Whether it is allopathy or homeopathy, that does not matter. What the patients require, your sympathy and empathy matter yet. A leader has to be empathetic, and this one, whether he is a chosen field of accountancy, whatever it is. Here, what we say in our chosen field of accountancy, you just see stakeholders' interest. What do you mean by grassroots? Shareholders' interest. Arm's length transaction, transparency, disclosure, presentation, reporting, so that you increase the integrity enhancing the value so that the foreign investors who are coming and doing, based on your whatever the transparent accounts. So you should believe. So from this angle, whatever at the social angle, whatever you are talking, empathy, whatever you have, that you can convert it in a framework. What I said about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, being grassrooted, being empathetic person, although the management may be appointing as auditors, but you are accountable to the shareholders. This is the type of innovation. See what artificial management, data analytics, data, everything we have seen. We already they have chosen even the survey 133A. It is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence, they said, although it remains in the statute book. That's what Honorable Finance Minister has said. So the innovation, like you said about articles, just now the border. So what is happening is the change in thought process, which makes it everything unstable also. So the result orientation, see, but effectively in a bus, if the conductor sleeps, you need not take the ticket. If the driver sleeps, everyone has to take the ticket to the ultimate heaven. See, the accountancy profession is just like a driver. He has to take the people to the desired destination without any jerk. For that, he must skill. He must be updated. If he is not updated, we will be uprooted. And innovation. Innovation in the sense, what is the technology? What is going on? That is very, very important. And then he must be able to reach and take the people without any jerk. And when I was the PR committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, we have to go and meet Mr. Abdul Kalam for an appointment. Abdul Kalam ji, in my enthusiasm, I was telling, sir, come whatever, every November, every May, we will conduct the exam, rain or shine, we will do it. We are having continuous professional education program. We have a campus placement, career orientation is there, this, that. He asked me, sir, Mr. Murli, sir, just, you are talking about your stakeholders, our students, our members, this thing. But then you are by an act of parliament. What you are doing to the society? See, why can't you say, I will make, how to make accounting for agriculture, you talk about. You talk about preparing a model budget, whether the country listens or not, don't bother. You put it in your website. If we are there, what would be the ideal budget? You put it using your core strength. I'm not asking you to do a blood donation, what a Lions or Rotary is doing. Using your core competence, what you can give to this world, you try to do that. Because you are an act of parliament. Individual chartered accountant may try to see wealth maximization of the clients. That is different. But as an institution, your role is different. What you do, your vision statement and mission statement, change it. Incorporate social goal. Then you come, I will come and administer, I will come and attend your meeting, administer both for your members, he mentioned. Then we came back. Now the present Prasanna is there in the Central Council. He was in our PR committee, Central Committee at that time. And we came back. At shortest notice, we did the PR committee. We encompassed all those things. Vision, mission statement of ICA, we changed it. We went back at a short notice he has given. He has also accepted and came, administered the oath also. Why I'm telling you, what is important when you talk about a leadership? The leadership should be empathetic. It should understand the grassroots realities. So our profession should answer those aspects. At the same time, give some sort of a comfort to all the people. That's very important. That is a leadership thing. What I am talking about, result orientation. Adi Godrej said in the AGM, sales is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is the reality. You also mentioned, as long as cash is there, our role will be there. You mentioned it. Okay. So the sales is very, very important. That is what is the market share you are having. It is determined by the sales of the turnover or the billing or the revenue. But then when there is no profit, sales is vanity. But what is the use of the profit? It does not result in positive cash flows. If it remains as sundry debtors, it remains as receivables or finished goods lying in the godown. So the result orientation. So whatever we are talking about, when you say redefining the skills, ethics, and innovation, it should result in the result orientation it should have. That's very, very important. That result orientation can be done by proper skilling. See, when you have continuous professional education, how a continuous professional education has to be for the members when you do, it should be both intellectual based and value based. Intellectual based education influences the head. whereas the value-based education influences the heart. When the head and the heart go together, you need not worry about the feet, it will go in the right direction. So that ethical thing, you are laying a base there. And skill set, you are laying a base there. Innovation, in our working, we have to do that innovation, daily innovation. Whatever we try to do, daily way there is no shortcuts. In this, there is no shortcuts. And C.N. Annadurai, I want to tell about this famous thing. When C.N. Annadurai took over as chief minister of DMK, after a long Congress rule, the opposition leader said, Mr. C.N. Annadurai, your days are numbered. He said, my steps are measured. So when your steps are measured, your days will never be numbered. So accountancy profession, if our days should not be whatever skill, whatever artificial intelligence comes and all, we will be there because our steps are measured. We try to give all sort of things which is required to face this world, which whether it is ICMA or ICA or ICSA, whoever it is, like the same member bodies here in the SAFA bodies, they are doing their best to face this so that the members will not get shock, will be absorbed. That is the way they are doing it. I appreciate this program also in that direction. I really appreciate Mr. Sharma for doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Murli sir. So nice and very interesting part, because there is something which is common if you see in the SAFA country region. You know what? What is it? We all think alike. We have brains, we also have heart. We actually value the system in a true sense. I think Sujan, you will also agree. Makbul sir, you will also agree that we are thinking always by heart. We are people, right? Ruchira, you also will agree to it. And
Yes,
I think
yes.
Vishal also is there. All of us, I think, we are not the Westerner part of the world. We are the Asian part of the world, which actually has an effective brain and an effective heart also to balance between the two, very rightly said. And the leadership we have seen in every countries, in all the countries, when you talk about the agility which is there in our leadership is not been comparable with anywhere in the world. Everywhere they have been strict in following certain things, but our way was just to bend, compromise, sacrifice, do everything. So nicely put, and all these leadership skills gave results in every respective country. This is something which we all have to know. And now, the most important part which is there is, out of this discussion, Ruchira, there is a question for you now. How do you think the cultural, because he very nicely talked about culture, when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was talked about, what is your culture? My culture is agriculture. And these all people have become leaders over a period of time. So in your countries also, and every part, rather we all different countries, like even Halim is here available, in his country as well, the cultural things are there, no doubt about it. The question to you now is, looking at the global landscape, right? By heart, the person who thinks he's a fool, they say. But today, those are the people who are being respected more. So what do you think that the regional or the cultural factors will impact the leadership thinking in this changing environment? Over to you now.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma, once again. I think that's a very valid question. Even though we all have agreed that we think alike, I think there are certain differences, cultural and regional differences, that impact the accountancy leadership. And of course, if I dwell on some of the factors, I would like to emphasize on the cultural differences and regional differences, the impact of those for the regulatory framework. As you know, although legal and regulatory framework, as it applicable to our country and also to other countries in our part of the world, all these countries are applying IFRS standards suitably adjusted to the differences in each of these countries. Even though we are following the same set of standards, still there are certain differences in some of these standards because there are some differences in our cultural factors and also in regional factors. So basically, we take those factors into account when we set or when we develop these accounting standards, which we are adopting in the preparation of financial statements. Not only that, different cultures also have ethical norms. Different cultures and also in different regions, we have different ethical norms. So we need to adhere to those norms. The pace of technology, the changes in the technology and the pace in which the technology is changing, that can also impact different practices in different regions. If I go on variances in education systems, now in different countries, there are differences in education systems. So the education system that we apply in Sri Lanka might not be applied in some other country. Of course, there are certain differences, there are certain similarities, but then there can be certain differences based on our cultures and based on our regions. So these factors will impact our skill set. These factors will impact our skill set of the accountants that we are molding through our education system. Then cultural differences can influence our negotiation skills, the way we negotiate and the way we make decisions. We might make decisions in certain ways in our country, but it might not be the same way in making decisions in a country like India or in a Bangladesh. So these factors also will influence cultural factors, and also regional factors will influence the way we negotiate with different parties and way we make decisions. As we know, as businesses become more global, accountants leaders must excel in cross-cultural collaboration. We do international businesses. So when we do international businesses, when we negotiate with people from other parts of the world, our cultural differences will impact. Our regional differences will impact. So because of the way that we think and because of the way that we were brought up, the way we negotiate with other parties, the way we finalize deals, the way we collaborate with other parties will differ. And also, finally, I would say our political and economic landscape in different parts of the world, even in our region, if we take different countries, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, we have Maldives, Nepal, we have different political systems, we have different political environments. Now, these political environments, the stability or instability of the political environment will impact the way in which we function, the way in which we make decisions. They will impact the accountancy profession as a whole. So I think, so when we talk about these cultural and regional factors, they can influence the accountancy profession of a particular region or in a particular country drastically. Even though all these countries, if we take in our region, even though there are so many countries, even though these countries think alike, as you correctly mentioned, there can still be differences because of the small cultural and regional differences that our countries are having. Over to you, Mr. Sharma.
I think so nicely put forward, and the fundamentals of the entire thing, the way, piece by piece, including the government, regulatory function, this, that, everything, the way you have done it, I think is amazing. Thanks, Ruchira. I think this is where, and there cannot be a better person to talk on this, because at this point in time, when we saw Sri Lanka going through a different transition, and how you all professionals have actually contributed is something which is unmatchable. So this is a right answer, which I think from the Owen actually is coming in for all of us to give that thought, because the negotiation power, what you said, what I sit and do in India and what you sit and do in Sri Lanka might not be different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it depends on where I'm sitting and doing also is important. Example, if a professional who is from Sri Lanka, he's going to other part of the world, say Dubai, the way he is going to communicate will be different when compared to when he's sitting in Sri Lanka and actually negotiating. Fantastic.
Exactly. That was my point. Yeah.
Yes, amazing, amazing. I think made it. That's it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Mohammed Ali, first of all, you are one person who's in this entire ecosystem when we are sitting in. I think the newborn baby, from the institute point of view, is Maldives. And, for you, the biggest advantage is being a newborn first. And the second best is all our institutes can actually come and work with you, and you can actually derive so much from us. So the question to you is, how do you think the collaborative leadership will be playing role in the accountancy profession? That is something which I would like to learn from you. How is that your institute is coordinating with all our institutes and taking the best from everyone and sharing, their views, and you are taking decision based on that? Over to you, Ali.
Thank you, CA Dayani or Sharma. And this is a very good question. Actually, how collaborative leadership playing role in developing accountancy profession. And I think without collaboration, even in case of companies and organizations, they also would not be able to achieve their objectives. And in our case, when we relate this to accounting profession, if I may share our experience in case of Maldives, we are getting assistance from ICAI India in submitting our application to get IFEC membership as well. And we got very kind assistance from India. And we believe we will be able to get the membership in 2024. And that will be a very good milestone and achievement for us. And this achievement is the result of good collaboration with the regional bodies, especially ICAI India and also CS Sri Lanka and other regional accounting bodies as well, in addition to our local stakeholders. And for us, when we talk about the collaboration, sharing resources and study materials are also very important. Yesterday, we had a meeting with CIA India, and we requested for their assistance to conduct some short courses in Maldives to develop our accountants and also to give some training in some key areas such as internal auditing, liquidation, valuation, and also bankruptcy. And now even ICAI India currently doing such courses in Sri Lanka as well as in Nepal as well. And what we need to do is we have to sit with them and to incorporate some of the local components related to Maldives, local laws, regulations, and procedures into the courses. And then it will be a kind of a customized course for Maldivians. So through collaboration, that is an assistance we are getting to develop the accounting profession in Maldives. And also to develop a valuation practice and to develop bankruptcy laws and codes in Maldives, which are very important for our accountants and also for the corporate world. We are getting some assistance from ICAI India. And it's very important to promote growth in regional accountancy bodies and have a common voice. We are SAFA member bodies, and instead of trying to develop our own accountancy bodies and try to develop our own members, it's very important to have a common voice and to consider everybody in the same bracket. So this will give us a very strong voice in future when we are advocating for things in IFEC as well. So to have our significance in things decided in IFEC as well. And also, of course, collaboration is important for training needs as well. And we are getting the assistance from mostly from ICA India, and also we are getting assistance from our stakeholders and regulators in Maldives as well. And when we talk about collaborative leadership and also development of accountancy profession, it's also very important to eliminate differences in accounting practices. We know we are using IFRS and IAS, but we have even everybody is having local procedures, practices as well to complement with the full reporting framework. And if I'm to take an example, one example is the valuation and measurement practices and guidelines used by some of the regional bodies. So for us, we are very young, and we are, let's say, we are like an infant baby, but we are trying to get valuation knowledge, and also we are trying to get the resources and also the some practices and guidelines already experienced and used by ICIA India, and that is very helpful. So when we talk about collaboration, it's all about the communication, it's all about the knowledge sharing, it's all about the inclusion of everybody for the purpose of having a common voice and significance to develop together. So we are getting that, of course. And when we are talking about some of the strategies, of course, it's very important to establish common goals and expectations. We have our local expectations. Even you are having your local expectations related to members and everybody. But in addition to that, we have to be a global voice. And that common expectation and goals should be clear and that should be broader, and everybody should be communicated with that. I think we SAFA needs to have to speed up on that front as well. And another important key area is promoting creativity in accounting profession as well, because the world is changing, and we have different issues, complex issues coming every day. And sometimes it may not be very good to have the textbook rules and procedures when we apply for the growth, innovation, and also related to ethical practices and issues as well. We need to hear from the members, I mean regional members, and also individual members of the regional bodies as well. And we should create some platforms for them to debate and contribute their ideas, because they are working in different industries, different areas, they have different thoughts as well. So instead of going by the books, we should have some flexibility in creating common platforms and addressing some ethical issues related to our members as well. And regarding skill development, of course, common training practices and programs are very important. As I have mentioned before, ICAI courses now already conducted in Sri Lanka and Nepal, and very soon in Maldives, we are also going to have some similar courses in internal auditing, valuation, liquidation, and information system auditing. So collaborating is about knowledge sharing and communicating, and also helping others to come stronger as a common voice. Thank you. I think my time is up.
Alim, I think the way you have given the respect to ICI, I think both Vishal and I, along with Mudit, even Mr. Murli, thank you very much for recognizing the contribution which is made by ICI on a continuous basis. Even in Nepal, Bhutan, everywhere, ICI has always been on the forefront to give whatever best we could give. And we have to set an example. There are two things. When you talk about collaboration, there is a receiver and there's a giver, right? Giver is not important. Receiver is important. How well you receive is something which you actually, when you give an appreciation, it means a lot to a person who is giver, because that giver has something in his hand. In the collaborative approach, which we all have to understand, dear friends who are out watching this discussion, is something which is very, very important and crucial. And how do we collaborate? I think all the issues are going to be same. It's not going to be, if you take a big chart, white paper, and put country-specific issues which are there in the accountancy profession, when you start mapping, I think Makbul sir, you will get all the things in one shape only, if I am not wrong. Very, very clear. So, but yes, thank you very much for putting it so nicely and putting it very crystal clear in the approach. And how do you develop the leadership? By absorbing the best of the world. I think you will be ahead. Though today you are a newborn baby, but you will actually be one of the leading accounting institutes in the world, because you will adopt to all the new things which are being gone through by the various institutes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So now the last man on the pitch is no other person than Sujan, who is actually there. Sujan, I know you are the first person to start with. We were thinking to start with you as an opening batsman. But yes, sometimes what happens is the player says that let the all people play and let me come in the last and start batting or bowling, based on the situation. Now, my question to you is very simple and straight. After discussing all these things, if you see, how do you think do we navigate the complexities of today's business environment, and how do we get these things, skills embedded in the process of our learning? What is Nepal, or your thoughts at individual level are there which you can share it with all of us?
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. First of all, I'd like to excuse that I came a little bit late due to the one urgent meeting out there. Distinguished panelists, good evening, all of you. Normally, technology, as we discussed earlier also, yesterday program also, technology is one of the basic being the part of our life, and without its support, we cannot go further. So from the initial level to our student level, we have to think about how to equip with the technological advancement and how to equip with that technological support to the students, the major concern. within this area of the South Asia, maybe the other countries also, we have to think about to make the student more technology savvy. So we have to think about that. In Nepal also, in the Nepalese context also, is a, I think before Maldives, we are a younger organization in the South Asia. So in Nepal also, we have also provided a different platform for the student to have technical knowledge. One of the important factors we have decided and we have implemented in the Nepal's programs are 100 hours information technology training to the our students. From that points, during the articleship period, we have bifurcated it into two segments. One is 60 hours and another 40 hours in second and third level of the CA courses. That has embedded a lot of technical knowledge or technical skills to our students, and that can put to their articleship training. Similarly, we have also have implemented different programs like the student exchange program among the SAFA countries, that also they can have a certain kind of knowledge from other countries also. As earlier said by the different panelists, that every country has one specific or general type of the information or general type of the technical knowledge dissemination. So our students also used to have such kind of information from the other countries also. Similarly, within the organization or within the firm also, we have a student articleship article training exchange program also. That also has provided a lot of opportunity to those students who cannot learn their firm or enroll firm in the right way. They can get knowledge from the other institute also, other accounting firm also. Similarly, we are also in line. We are also planning to have a overall ERP system within the ICANN, so which will be within the 2 or 3 months we can going to implement it. That is a totally paperless and digital platform to all the students, members, and all the whole HR system of the Nepal. That also provides the good platform to our students, which is totally paperless. That students should not come to our institute for the registration, eligibility test, whatever maybe for the revision test paper. Three things are there. So this kind of practice and this kind of development we are doing so far. In addition to that, we also get involved our student in the different training program organized by either the SAFA level or domestic level, maybe the other third country level, which is when the opportunity comes to in our country, and which is subject to the related with our CA education. We also provide the such kind of platform and providing the such kind of training. This is one part that we are providing the such kind of training to our student to have to navigate all the changes. And of course, nowadays, use of AI in the account is the most important. We are also planning to have such kind of training to the student how AI can be the perfectly utilized for the betterment of the professional and discharge of their personal duty. So that is another part which is in the pipeline. So we are really think about that. We are in thought of that. We are going to implement this. So right now I can say that this all platform we are providing. So it is not the English. So we have to provide. We have to do more for our the students to provide the all technological changes and everything. So in that manner, is ICI is the one of the, we can say, the big organization within this organization. A lot of institute, including ICANN, IC Nepal, also taking the help of to have a betterment of our student member and as whole CA profession as large. So this is the change right now where this is the new change, or this is a new type of endeavors we are practicing right now from the perspective of Nepal, and we have to keep on changing, or we have to keep on training to our student also. Over to you, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you. I think this learning itself is a different process of creating a leadership within. Sujan, I think all these initiatives which are going to be taken are going to set an example for the new leadership in time to come. Friends, today we had our panelists, 8 panelists who are there, who have shared their ways of learning and their ways of experience in their respective countries or their respective institutes. Something which is very unique in the entire process is basically we all are evolving, and we are evolving for good. What has been the legacy is not been forgotten, and most importantly, the newer opportunities or newer technology or newer challenges which are there, we all are working towards it. Now, only and only one thing which I would like to conclude this entire discussion with is, if any one of our panelists would like to talk about their institute, sir, the only thing which our institute should work on is one, leadership. Number two is entrepreneurship. I think somewhere we have actually lost the process of this entrepreneurship way of looking at things, because most of the institutes which are producing chartered accountant or cost accountants are moving towards industry. They are getting into employment rather than becoming, entrepreneur. And these professionals, when they were, the professional institutes, when they were formed to service the organizations, not to be in the service of organizations. So there is a difference between the two. Yes, if you have any thought with regards to, the leadership or might be entrepreneurship, I would request you, Vishal bhai, first you raised your hand, so I'll request you to kindly. These are all concluding statements. At the quick, if you can make it, I think we can make it at the earliest.
Yeah. So quick, I have, so on the leadership training, I would just like to highlight three activities that the ICI has done in the recent past, and definitely for three different segments. So talking about the students first, the ICI has started the 4 weeks residential program for the students, where they are taught about the leadership skills and training and technology and innovation and all these things. It's a 4-week residential program at the Center of Excellence that are being conducted for the students of CA. For the members, the ICI has entered into a MOU with the Indian Institute of Management, the IIM, where it conducts management and finance for young CAs, for experienced CAs, and also management development programs for the newly qualified chartered accountants is being done at the IIMs. And in addition, business leadership development programs is also there on the Digital Learning Hub, which is the, I would say, online learning portal for the members. So that is with respect to the members. And the third category, that is the employees of ICI. For the employees of ICI also, the institute has entered into this program, this structure, which of 7-day residential training and learning and development program on the leadership skills and qualities for the employees of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and they are being sent there in batches of 25 each. So at the employee level also, because they need to have these leadership qualities. So these I wanted to share based on your question at the three levels that the ICI is working on the leadership development programs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vishal bhai. Murli sir, would you like to share something?
It's an interesting one. We are now, professionals should adjust themselves to the market-driven demand services instead of relying on regulation-driven demand services alone. This is the real thing today. Although the elected council members, we are supposed to see regulatory demand-driven services also, at the same time, we have to empower our members to face this competitive world. So in the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, in the recent years, you would have seen, in the internal audit definition, Companies Act, where cost accountants have been included. If you see very recently, inventory valuation, Income Tax Act, exclusively inventory audit to be done by them, especially when the survey powers, it is going to be reduced, and the assessing officer who is having a jurisdiction cannot go and inspect, and in such cases, they can refer to a practicing cost accountant to find out whether the gross profit, what it is mentioned, because the purchases and sales already GST related. Only in the closing stock will be non-moving, obsolete, all those things, the valuation things are there, and every immunity scheme comes, people normally offer in stock only. So naturally, the newer areas, whenever we have to make our members innovative. So all our training programs, right from curriculum, now encompassing GST audit when it was there, cost accountants also included. Similarly, internal audit, as I said, in Companies Act. Similarly, valuation. Similarly, insolvency and bankruptcy code. So the number of practicing members are comparatively less, but it is growing. thanks to newer areas. Earlier, it is an assigned area only. You have this one, only cost audit, chartered accountant, financial audit, or secretarial audit. Now, what happened in non-exclusive areas, we have to travel. So naturally, what is important is we have to live up to the expectations of our user of our services. So naturally, our training, our curriculum, and our training sessions, everything encompassing all those areas so that they face the world, the competitive world, with confidence. So that is our focus, in fact.
Thank you, Puri sir. Makbul sir, anything from your side?
Yes, Dayaji, thank you very much. I would also like to share what initiative ICAP is taking to nurture and develop the leadership skill among its members and future members, and what kind of program we are undertaking presently. Although I did mention yesterday that we are also reforming our education, and we were going to start from tomorrow the consultative session with the various stakeholders on our perceived education scheme of 2025. But currently, what we're doing in Pakistan, Institute of Chartered Accountants Pakistan is not involved in delivering education. We have approved education provider and even a technology course provider. We have approved those. We work like Western Institute, where Institute is just examining body and providing the CPT. So we have on the academic side certain initiative, and the professional skill development side certain initiative, developing the leadership. Like academic side, we have a business writing and communication skill one module, and also at the advanced strategy and performance measurement the second module. And then we have presentation and personal effectiveness one course, which is assessed course. There's the assessment involved, and we have then the professional value, ethics, and attitude course, which is also have assessment involved. Then we have a hand-on course on data analytics or fintech, covering the advanced financial modeling, blockchain, and rest of the data mining, data analysis, and these solutions are there. And this is also assessed course. We undertake the assessment of the student in that. We have a mentorship program, which is an open program. Any member can take a mentorship, the benefit, and the list of mentors are there. And we also required compulsory that every training organization has to have assigned a mentor to their student, which can be from within the organization or can be outside the organization. We have two types of training organization. One is the inside practice, the other is outside practice. Okay, about 5% of our students are getting training in the outside practice. Mostly they are the financial sector organization. And we also have a NFO, National Finance Olympiad competition annually we carry out among the members and the students. And we also have a national finance leadership programs, which are offered twice in a year, and to the future the members, and also the existing current members and other professionals working as executive in the industry. We have a mandatory metrics for training. During the training period, what skill need to be developed, we have specified in line with the international education standard, and we offer CPD program to develop the soft skills and the strategic management skill among our members. So this kind of initiative the Institute is undertaking. The whole effort is to produce the member and the future member who can play the effective role of a leader, effective leaders, which is attributes and skills we have been discussing since last 1.5 hours. That all things we are trying to put in place. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Makbul sir. And indeed, I think a detailed one, and more or less all our institutes have been doing in the interest of the students as well as the members in a big way. And that is where the SAFA webinar is actually going to give message to all the country across the globe. Rather, Murli sir, let me just tell you one before I go to the next person, Mahtab. Let me just share with you Vishal Bhai, Mahtab, Muhammad Aleem, Sujan, We have participants today from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Singapore, Canada, UAE, USA, Nigeria, and Australia. So I think people who are excited to know what our institutes are doing are there with us. I think we all thank them for being with us today. Mata, over to you.
Thanks a lot. Truly, those who are participating today from all over the world, I would say, I think it's very encouraging for us. If you participate, then it encourages us on the leadership at the leadership level to carry out these kind of events even more. So, with that note, a couple of things. I think we have in ICMAB we have got structured program. There are three broad levels we follow. One is digital skill development. And there we have got two specific initiatives. We have got a partnership with one of the telecom. You know, digital analytics is going to play a very, very important role for all our accountants. We have already discussed, and everyone has touched upon that. What ICMAB has done, the second largest telecom company, Robia Exeter, we have signed an agreement. Under that, they have got a studio in our campus, and we have access to that data analytics system. I don't know how many of you know, telco is one of the best in analytics because of the humongous data there. So we have access to that kind of analytics, which we cannot afford to have in our campus, but they allow us to use it and analyze it in their test database. So that's a huge thing for us, and it's a great access. So I would suggest other institutes may consider that having partnership with what we call as a collaborative model. That would be very useful because such tools we cannot afford to have. The second one is there is a National Skill Development Council. ICMAB has partnered with them, and we have agreed to carry out 6 skill set courses along with the National Skill Development Institute. So I think that's a great recognition, and we are going to we have just got that partnership done, and we are going to do that. In terms of soft skill, there are many courses. Every month, we have got at least one soft skill courses in our institute. So that's where we are doing pretty reasonably well. But coming to specific on leadership, we have 3 leadership programs. One is the junior accountants trying to become a CFO. So there is a specific leadership courses for that, and there is another one which I usually take. And actually, last week I've done the first one. How to become moving from CFO to CEO. So leap from CFO to CEO. So there is another course we have, and we will run it every year. So that is another signature leadership course that we have. And the third one is about focusing on the practicing members. So these are the 3 leadership courses we are having, and I'm happy to share at any point of time with other institutes if you can certain learning. So that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Mahata. Anything, Mohammed, you would like to share? Sujan, would you like to share anything? I think you have already done.
Nothing, sir.
Okay, thank you. May I?
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the training for our members and finance professionals in Maldives, even now we have 2 flagship events every year. One is IFRS Forum, where we are focusing more on technical side for the accountants related to the standards. But then we have Maldives Accountants Forum. In Maldives Accountants Forum, we are mainly focusing on the industry side, like the issues in our key industry in tourism, transportation, environment, sustainability. So these areas are addressed in annual Maldives Accountants Forum, where we bring industry experts and we are engaging our accountants in that forum. That forum gives...
Mata, request you to kindly mute. Mata?
I think since he's on the phone, he's not able to listen.
Yeah.
Better to unmute by the host.
Mata?
আমার নীতিও থাকবো সবসময় যে কোনো সরকার যাতে পায়। খুব ভালো ছিল
Mudit,
রেজলিউশন আর আইবিএ থেকে সেখানে থাকবে।
Just give me a minute. I will.
yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So in our annual IFRS forum, we are focusing more on accounting side.
Mahtab, are you able to listen to us? Mahtab, Mudit जरा देखो ना.
I think I can continue, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So Modis Accountants Forum is focusing more on the issues in our key industries such as tourism, transportation, aviation, and environmental related sustainability, where industry experts are coming and giving the presentations and giving some awareness sessions for our accountants. In addition to that, we have our annual CPD calendar as well, which include information technology related, ethics and professional behaviors related issues, in addition to taxation, as well as accounting related other topics. And also some key areas such as anti-money laundering and banking related issues are also included in our annual CPD programs and awareness sessions. The whole purpose is to develop our accountants and to give more awareness and training in addition to the application of IFRS in our key industries and global issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. And I think at the end of the day, what is important is all chartered accountant or cost accountant, we are all hungry and we are carving for change. And we have been doing it. We bite every day, we fight every day, we ensure that the survival of the fittest is the name which is there. Before the business knows any laws and regulation, we are actually ready with the knowledge whenever the people call us. So what I would like to tell you, friends, that today session, if you have seen, the first effort which we are trying to put forward to get all the institute together and showcase that all of us are trying our level best at the positions where we are in as a council member to ensure how our institute is ahead of time. And that is where the efforts are being put in at the length and breadth of all the institute in SAFA region. Now I'll request Vishal Doshi ji to kindly give a concluding vote of thanks. And before that, I would like to thank Mudit specifically for ensuring. Mudit, request if possible to come on screen. This man who's actually done the entire effort to get all these 7 countries together and see that this program happens, though we were not bothered about the number of people who are going to attend, and the willingness of people learning actually shows that forget about these 7 countries, we have other 7 countries who are participating to listen to us. Thank you, Mudit, for all the effort. Over to you, Vishal bhai.
Yeah, thank you, Daya bhai. So at the outset, I would like to thank first all the participants who have joined on this, I would say, tech enabled, because we are doing a virtual program which has brought all of us closer for this interaction. And we have participants not just from the SAFA countries, but from countries like it was mentioned, Saudi, Kuwait, Singapore, Canada, Australia, UAE, USA, Nigeria, and maybe others also. So thanks to all the participants for sparing their time. My special thanks to all the panelists who are definitely in their domains and also representing the institutes from the SAFA countries. I thank you for giving a lot of insight and in-depth thoughts on the subject of innovation, ethics, leadership, and also the, I would say, the actions being taken by the respective institutes, as well as the vision that the institutes carry in achieving their objectives. Definitely a big thanks to CA Dayanivas Sharma ji, who is the chair of this committee at SAFA and whose brainchild this was. that we should have these webinars, and in fact, he said back-to-back webinars, because yesterday we had for the SAFA students and today we are having for SAFA members. So thank you, Dayabai, for your thought, your leadership, your innovation, which was the subject for this deliberation, and you have demonstrated the abilities that you have carried. And definitely, last but not the least, to Mudit and the entire tech support team and the office for their untiring efforts in bringing out the creatives, the images, ensuring that specific creatives for each country are made so that they can circulate to their respective fraternity and members. And that is why we are able to have such a great participation. So once again, thank you everybody, and we look forward to more such interactive sessions in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. अनि एउटा प्रोग्राममा थिएँ अनि त्यही भएर